actual Sturmtiger. And this is not the Sturmtiger from that game mode a while back. This is a tier 10 reward German tank destroyer that you can play in pubs. All 380 millimeters of this chode cannon can be used to blow up Russians on the RU server. Yes, this is not on NA, this is on the RU server. So let's look at its stats. I'm going to compare it to the Jagdpanzer 100 and the 4K, because I think that makes sense for high alpha tanks. You can see the Sturmtiger's DPM is the same as the Jag, which is ahead of the 4K, which is interesting, because it has the highest alpha out of all of these tanks. By quite a margin. 1050, 1150, 1450. Holy! It also has the highest penetration at 320, which beats out the Jagd's 299 and the 4K's 310. Although, to be honest, these two numbers are AP, this is heat. So honestly, I'd prefer the Jag or the 4K as opposed to the Sturmtiger. If we load gold, we could see that the penetration jumps up to 400, which is just a bit less than the Jagdpanzer 100, but still 400! This is basically the second highest penetration in the game, I think. I don't know what else is higher other than the Jag. And of course the 4K doesn't get high penetration rounds like that. But what about their HE? Well, I'm pretty sure this is the highest damaging HE in the game, which is 2,100. Unfortunately, it only has 80 millimeters of penetration, which doesn't really make sense because the Jag, having half the caliber, pretty much, has 85 millimeters of pen, but only 1,400 damage. But this is where the 4K beats those tanks, because 230 millimeters of penetration for its 1,750 damage. So in reality, the Sturmtiger isn't the hardest hitting tank in the game, that would be the 4K. However, the Sturm has pretty much almost double the penetration. And it also travels in an arc, which means this is kind of like an assault arty where you can park behind a ridgeline and lob a 400 millimeter heat round over the ridge into an IS-7 turret for 1,450 damage. Holy smokes! Let's take a look at the gun handling. As you can see, the aim time is very long, not quite as long as the 4K, but it definitely has the worst accuracy by far. The 4K's accuracy is bad. The Jagdpanzer 100 accuracy is actually pretty good considering how big the gun is. However, its dispersion factors are the best, especially so compared to the 4K, which basically means that at close range, the Sturmtiger doesn't really have to aim. You just come around the corner, your aiming circle is already pretty small, and you just fire your gun. Whereas with the 4K, you really can't do that. Even if you're at close range, you still have to aim because your reticule is enormous. One of the biggest problems with the Sturmtiger is that it only has 4 degrees of gun depression, which is worse than the Jagdpanzer 100 and way worse than the 4K. And it also has a pretty narrow gun arc of 10 degrees on either side. However, it is the fastest, going at 38, and its reverse speed is middle of the pack. The Jag is quicker, but the FV is slower. Same with the power to weight, it's only 12, which is worse than the FV but better than the Jag. And you can see here, it can only get to 35 kilometers per hour with its engine. However, if you run turbo and off-road driving and all that, you can actually get to your top speed, so I would say the Sturmtiger is still the fastest. Health, 2,000, which is less than the Jag, but more than the FE, which is quite nice. However, what has both of these tanks beat is its camo, which is very underrated. The Sturmtiger has an enormously long reload and aim time, so if you could just sit in a bush, unseen, and just wait for something to drive in front of you and blast it, that's how one of the people who uploaded a replay of this vehicle got 10,000 damage. Anyway, it actually gets 400 meters view range, which is higher than the other two tank destroyers. So what you have is basically an extreme version of the Jagdpanzer 100, where it sacrifices armor and gun handling for an even higher alpha. And yeah, it has the historical armor of 150, which is not really impressive at tier 10. And yes, these are 320 heat rounds, standard rounds, which are like the gold rounds for everything. But even then, it's still only 200 at best. Tier 8s are going to pen you, no problem. Its armor only really works if the person is firing standard rounds, you come around a corner, shoot them, and then you drive around the corner okay, you might ricochet or non-pen off that, but that's pretty much it, right? So, what kind of equipment will I use on this tank? It's actually a variety. You can use a lot. It kind of needs a lot. The field mod comes with a few that makes the accuracy better. You definitely want that. This one makes you turn quicker and have stronger tracks. Nice one, Wargaming. And this one increases your view range, but at the cost of camo. It's only camo after firing, which, like, who cares, right? So I would go for the view range. And then here, do I want aiming circle size after firing or reload time? Well, to be honest, aiming circle size after firing doesn't really matter. And the reload is quite long, so you might want to take a little bit off of that. And the last one, top reverse speed or health? Controversial opinion. You would think chems would choose the health, but that reverse speed is unusable. You have to go with reverse speed. This tank shtick is coming around a corner, blasting someone, and then, reversing around it before they have a chance to shoot you back. And because of that, you would probably want to use just a regular turbo. Now, you might say, oh, the gun handling's so bad, wouldn't you want to use mobility system? These dispersion factors are already pretty good. However, if you really want to, it doesn't hurt. I mean, you could put it on there, and it will improve them slightly, but I don't think you would notice it. However, if you really want to, you could do that. What else is there to put on this tank? Well, there is a piece of equipment not really shown on Tanks GG properly, but you can see here, modernized damage ventilation. Plus 6% to vehicle gun damage, plus 4% to crew efficiency bonus. This is basically what you need because it increases your alpha damage, which Tanks GG doesn't update for some reason, but it also acts like vents in that it'll improve your dispersion, improve your view range, and just all across the board other things. Now, if you use this equipment, you can't use a rammer. I know Tanks GG allows you to select it here. This is incorrect, okay? This needs to be fixed. You can't run a rammer and this, breach ability thing at the same time. Since this acts like vents, you could honestly put bounty aiming because you got bounty aiming plus vents plus a directive plus food plus BIA, and I guess we'll just throw in the other stuff here while we're at it. The accuracy goes from unusable to bad. 0.4 is not good accuracy, but it's good enough to hit the target. And when you have 400 pen, that's all you really need to do is just hit the target, because you're going to go through it. And so, cope equipment might not actually be the worst thing of all time, because this tank has such a ridiculously long reload, you really only get the opportunity to fire 3 shots in a game. You have to hit those shots. You have to. If you miss, you lose out on 1400 damage. Actually, it's not 1400 because with the equipment, it increases it by 6%. So let me do the math real quick. Here, I'll actually inspect element for you guys so it's more clear. This is what 6% increase is. So your alpha damage is 1540 basically. And your reload is 32 seconds. You really can't afford to be missing in this tank. Now, if you get on Himmelsdorf, for example, sure, you could totally drop the aiming for hardening. Your accuracy drops, but you're kind of just derping people at close range, and you've got the health, but more importantly, the track health to allow you to survive. However, I would very much recommend using this equipment, the damage one, as opposed to a rammer, because like I said, you get very few opportunities to hit someone. When you do, you want to hit them for the most amount of damage. But the little bonus, if it was just damage, I would still pick it, but it also comes with crew perk bonus, which means you actually do get to max view range, and it does improve your camo just a little bit. Now, I don't know if I have max view range in my replays. Wait, I'm retarded. I put fuel instead of chocolate. Okay, let me just put the improved aiming again. 0.39. That's getting somewhere, right, guys? So, yeah, and you got some view range to boot. So that's nice. And, of course, I'm going to fire only gold. But should you fire HE? It only has 80 millimeters of penetration, right? So you would never use it. You're not really going to pen anything. And whatever you can pen doesn't have 2100 HP, right? Like an enemy 4K, what's its health? 1800? Well, then that's just overkill. Well, kind of, not quite. I mean, after all, the AP wouldn't one-shot it. And let me just also adjust this to include the damage increase from the piece of equipment. There we go. 2,226. Should you ever fire this ammo? Me personally, I didn't really fire it much, but I should have. Because, did you guys know that HE does actually get an overmatch mechanic? As you can see, 380 millimeters. What can you overmatch with 380 millimeters? It's 126 millimeter plates. You can overmatch with HE. Now, overmatching with HE does not mean you auto-pen. What it actually means is that no matter the angle, you will do exactly half your HE damage plus or minus 25%. Do you know what this means? This means you can shoot the front of like a 277 hull and just splash it for 1100. Now that sounds really impressive and all that, and it kind of is, but to be honest, if I'm shooting the front of a 277, I may as well just load the heat, right? And do a huge amount of damage that way. But it is worthy of mentioning that even if you load HE because you want to shoot like a squishy medium, but you're forced to shoot a heavy, if you just aim for the heavy's weak plates, which, I mean, it's 126 millimeters, it doesn't even have to be that weak, it could just be the side, you will do 1100 damage because it overmatched. Now, of course, hitting exactly where you want to hit is kind of difficult because the shell travel time, or the shell velocity, is 360 meters per second. That's pretty bad. It makes leading shots very difficult, but it also means you can loop shots over terrain. Because this tank has such an enormous caliber, and if you take, what is it called? I don't even know if it shows up here, but it's the one that increases your crit damage. You do tend to get a decent amount of ammo racks and fires and, you know, just generally messing people up. So yeah, I think that's enough yapping. Let's get on to the replays. You hear this song? Hold on, let's... where's music? Listen to this. It's like Mongolian rock. And I can't play on this map without seeing the Mongolian Santa Claus going, jingle bell, jingle bell. You guys know what I'm talking about? It's all over Instagram. It shows it to me every fucking day. It goes hard, but... Yes, we are on Kamchatka. So I like this map. It's a pretty good map. A lot of avenues, a lot of routes. Very good for close games. Especially if you've got mobility, man. I can imagine being like an EBR 75 and like a tier 8 only match, and it's a close game. You just dominate the whole thing. Anyway, we are top tier. We're fighting tier 8s. Not that it matters. Let's see what we can do. I'm going to the town area because the other side of the map there, it requires gun depression. It's very like hilly and it's got ridges and stuff. And you know, this thing only has 4 degrees of gun depression. That's not going to work. So, to the town I go. It's relatively flat. And, like, what a town, by the way. It's not just, like... You know how Big Ensk is... When they extended the map, they added a whole section of the map just to block it off? But anyway, look at this. Hey there, T10. Yeah. Damn. Oh, man. I'm just gonna clip that real quick because I actually forgot to clip it and I need to put it in the beginning part. And if you look in the chat, I put a smiley face, a Russian smiley face. You know what's funny? Russians don't include the 2 dots in their smiley faces. I don't know why. When I first started playing on the Russian server, I would see them spam that all the time, and they would do multiple. They'd do like 3 parentheses, but no dot. And I just thought they were tweaking, literally. It's just like, okay, they've probably got an English keyboard, and this is supposed to signify something in Russian. I don't know. No, it's literally just them smiling. they just don't include the 2 dots for whatever reason. Anyway, if you look at the map, the enemy EBR-90 is going for artillery based. Anyway, there's an SU here. I hope this K2 doesn't pen him. He does. Okay, well, I guess I'll just... only 1100. Yeah, well. 3000 damage already with 2 shots. Now, there is a full health conch somewhere. But first I want to... Oops. But first I want to reload. So, reloading, and then get into a position to shoot him, wherever he is. So, there's the K2. And, okay. There's the conch. Move up. Get close. Hopefully he doesn't take too much damage before I can put a big old round into him. And I actually have a shot on this top part right there. Aim, and... 1560. Yep. 4.4 thousand damage already. And the game is basically pretty much over. It's only been like a 3-minute match. Yet we've still gotten 4,000 damage. And that's, you know, you could still get decent damage in a 3-minute match, assuming what you're shooting at actually has HP. Like the 704 that conveniently decided to stop right in front of me. How convenient. Gonna have to lead this a little bit and... Really, bruh? Are you serious right now, bruh? Really? Well, this K2 misses, although he's probably gonna get like 2 shots before I reload. Will I get another shot off? The 704 fired. The K2 bounced. The ISM bounced. Or maybe not in that order. This 590 shot once. He shot 2. Can I reload? No. That was pretty obnoxious, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not sure how I bounced it. It's just some spaced armor bullshittery and... what's this? What's this? Assault arty. Let's just pretend I did 5,800 damage. Can we pretend, guys? Let's make believe right now. Wow, 5,800 damage in 4 minutes. So, that's pretty funny, I guess. But, listen to this theme. This goes hard as fuck. Yeah. What's that one gif? You know what? I'm not even gonna post it. I got 1 strike already. I'm not gonna get a second one. Okay, we're going on to the next replay. Although this was kind of like a whatever game, it does sort of set the scene as to what this tank is. It's like you see something, it blows up, you get huge damage. So the longer the game duration is, the more damage you rack up. Anyway, let's move on to the next replay. Sturmtiger on Serene Coast. So, we're fighting tier 8s, which you might think is good. However, one small issue. They have less health. So it's not that impressive. Now I'm using vents here. I don't know why. You know what it could be, honestly? It could be me trying to reduce my intuition time. Because I do like to switch between the ammos. And of course, a rammer obviously would make it switch faster. But I want to higher alpha damage. Anyway, vents isn't the worst thing to run on this because all the stats kind of need a slight boost, right? But still, I would probably recommend improved aiming because, again, you get such little opportunities to actually shoot someone. You want to make sure it actually hits. Now, I was thinking of going for the blind, but then I just got lit. And, yeah, not a great start to the game, huh? Anyway, see, I'm switching between ammos a lot, and... Hey, E75. 1627. Yep, that's why I use the improved damage equipment. And did you hear this thing reload and fire? It has a different reload sound and it has like a whooshing sound because this tank is rocket propelled in real life. I think the next shot I'll zoom out so you can see. It really is a missile. And I don't think I've ever done it in the replays I'm going to show you, but if you shoot HE at an object, it is a huge explosion. But like, not even like an upscaled one of the explosions we already have, like already there, but like an actual fully custom explosion for this thing. Anyway, there's a mouse there. Let's see, do I have a shot on it? Now, this mouse is in a fantastic matchup, but First of all, let's have a look at this thing. Boom! Yup. 1464. And with 2 shots, I have already done 3,000 damage. And this is exactly what I mean. Like, to get a high damage score, you only have to hit a few shots, right? You have to hit them. So you need the accuracy. But anyway, it was kind of a crappy start, but we've already got 2 big old rounds in. And a Genjarm. I'd love to HE that guy, because I'll literally just one-shot him. And let's see. He's backed up. Okay. So, I don't really want to move up just yet. I would prefer it if that mouse were to die. Now, despite the fact that I put the biggest round on Earth into him, well, I guess the biggest round in World of Tanks, caliber-wise, not damage-wise, he is still alive. And here, look, here's the thing. He's a mouse against tier 8s. And, oh, that one looked like it went right over his head. But yeah, he is a mouse against tier 8s, which means he will just hold that entire flank for as long as possible, which is a very long time. So, this E75 doesn't seem like he learned his lesson from last time. Hopefully, me using vents instead of improved aiming won't make me miss, because this accuracy is so bad, I could just miss, but... Let's see, do you think he left? Oh, I had a shot on him, I looked away, and... Lower plate, upper plate, it doesn't matter. He's dead. You know what? This thing's like firing sound is so incredible. I'm just gonna crank this up a little bit. Let's see. Well, like this, that. There we go. So, 3,600 damage. That mouse is still alive, and it would be very good if I were to kill him, because aside from me and the IS-4 and the Sturv, I guess maybe the T-54 as well, nothing else has the pen to go through him. And honestly, I don't know why that T-54 hasn't just loaded heat and killed him yet, but... This BZ puts a big old hit into the T-49. I will never shoot him. I would rather die than shoot him. Waste my huge 380mm rocket on a tank on 60 HP? No. So, now that the light's dead, I feel a little more confident moving up. And I'm gonna load HE, even though I don't need to. There's always a chance that, I don't know, I hit some weird angle and it doesn't go through or whatever reason. Come to think of it, what is more reliable, HE or heat? Because HE can go through spaced, but heat cannot. But then HE has this whole armor not hit nonsense, right? Anyway, there's a SU. I don't have heat, but let's... There, you saw that explosion? You know what? I actually didn't even realize... I didn't even realize I fired HE. I'm gonna rewind it so you can see that huge explosion. So obviously I missed the SU, because if it direct hit him, you wouldn't have seen that, but... Here we go. Let's check this out. Any second now. Here it comes. Did you hear that? So this SU is like, okay. I'm geeking out a little bit, but that's pretty badass, not gonna lie. So, I'm gonna go load back heat and move up. Maybe I can get some side shots on the mouse, finish him off. Or, you know what? Maybe I just leave him there so that my team is held up and I get all the damage for myself. Which would be a good idea if you were in something that's like high DPM or something, but not this tank. This tank, when it fires, it's basically just shoot me for 30 seconds. You need allies, or else people just rush you and kill you. You can actually die before you're reloaded from full health, because it's such a long reload. Now, a Barask is on the flank. He spotted me, but he was shooting someone else, so I evade his fire. Now, he's reloading, and he's running away, so I will actually move up. Okay, so... By the way, if you're wondering, this is an assembly shop tank. So that was pretty retarded. Anyway, I'm zoomed out, third person. There we go. Now, I don't know, I'm not spotted, but maybe they saw the shell travel, because you can see shells travel. I think the missiles, you can see them. And so someone might YOLO me because they know I'm reloading. And a prototypo has a magazine and can kill me, so... I'm not gonna push up just yet. I want to be near this BZ. But when I reload, I will probably move up further. Now, it is not necessarily a close game because we're up 4,000 HP. But they have a Genjarm. Yeah. And, oh hey buddy. Yup. And there's the Genjarm. In case you don't know, I think I've mentioned it before, but that thing's a 16-shot autoloader with 400 alpha. Did you see how fast he put 2 shots into me? Thankfully they bounced, but... yeah, the Genjarm is not to be fucked with. But, yeah, I just one-shotted a tier 8 medium. And the thing is, if I did not have the damage equipment, I could low roll him like 40% of the time and not kill him. Anyway, let's see here. And, BZ! Can you back up? Fix your fucking tracks and back up, dude. Come on! And it looks like the GPT put a second shot into the BZ, which means he's gonna be reloading for like 40 seconds. So he's probably not gonna poke, but oh! That one looked like it hit his engine deck or something. It looked like it missed the side, but like looped on over and hit the engine deck. And uh-oh, someone was paying attention. Fortunately, I only take 2 shots. Now this guy could literally just keep going and kill me. I still have a long time on my reload, you can see. But he didn't, because I still have a team, right? And that team is dying to the Genjarm. He just killed the T-54, who last I checked was full health. So, you know, you're not full health when you go in front of a Genjarm. It's just, yeah. Anyway, we're on 5 kills. But how the hell are we gonna take out this Genjarm? I mean, he is a one-shot. But that tank, unlike a Waffly 100, which also has a nasty autoloader, that tank has camo. So it can actually hide back there and just kill us. So what to do? I'm on half health, which means I'm not a one-shot for anything. Not even a 2-shot. Even if the 617 doubles me, I still survive it. So I'm not, like, too afraid. But still, like, I'm trying to think. If I were to die, I don't know if my team has it in them to pull through. Especially against a Genjarm. So, let's see. What's our team health like? Yeah, basically only our tank destroyers have sufficient health. And to be honest, I don't think an SGRV is really going to do much against a Genjarm. Because I think the SGRV has really bad view range. So the Genjarm will just kill him. So I'm backing up a little bit, hoping I don't get rushed. However, I'm just indecisive. I don't really know how to approach this, and I get spotted. So I'm thinking, that LTTB is over there. This is bad for me. He's a light tank, and he's going to be a huge pain in the ass to hit. Thankfully, our SC-152 takes him out. Now that he's dead, I can probably move up without being seen, right? So should I kill this 617? Or should I go for the prototypo? Seems like I'm going for the prototypo right now. Let's see. Maybe I can spot the Genjarm if I poke this. Maybe. Because there is a bush right here. And this tank doesn't have the worst camo of all time. So, oh, and, that is lucky. As you know, heat ricochets at 80 degrees. So, if that shot hit 80 degrees or less, that guy would have blown up. Because he doesn't really have any armor, and this has 400 pen. So, yeah, that was very lucky for him. Now, I am a 2-shot for the Genjarm, which means he can kill me in half a second. Literally. Not even an exaggeration. And the 617 could double me. So now, yeah. I decide to load HE because I think everything left is HEable. So with the HE, I won't get any bullshit ricochets, right? Like on that prototypo. So let's see. I wonder if the HE will do a huge explosion on him, even if it pens. Let's find out. I'm curious. Staring at this guy. He's gonna back up at some point, right? He's got to. He's not gonna sit in that one exact spot for the rest of the game, is he? Alright. I'm aimed here, and if the Gendrum gets spotted, hopefully I can move up a little bit and shoot him. But will this prototype back up? And that's the thing with the Sturmtiger, is a lot of waiting. A lot of waiting. You don't have the armor to do anything. But, oh, and... boom. So, no, if you hit and pen someone, or I guess maybe splash, if you hit a tank, it won't do the huge explosion. And now I'm kind of tweaking out, worrying that this 617 will rocket over to me and try to kill me. So I'm kind of backed up in a way so that if either side he comes from, I can face it or turn towards it. However, I'm about to reload, and so now I can go in. 617, not a huge problem. I want to be able to shoot this Gendrum, because even if my team doesn't have a direct line of sight on him, my shell might be able to loop on over and kill him. So let's see. The Sturv is moving in. He spots the Arty. Okay. And, okay, Arty destroyed. I do a little peek. Do my sixth sense go off? No, it doesn't. It seems like he's very tucked in back there, to the point where he can't even see me through the bushes, because he's not in the bushes, he's behind them. However, I'd rather not risk it, because it's a fucking Gendrum. But after doing a few peeks, I don't get lit, so I just sit at this corner. And we have a minute left. Someone's got to be brave and go in. Honestly, the best person to do it would be the Sturv, because he can survive the longest and maybe get close enough to see him. And, oh shit, he got spotted. Okay. The prototypo was quick to kill that guy, because no fucking around with Gendrums. Anyway, so the last guy's here. Do I switch to heat? I guess maybe I think I could just splash him to death. Yeah, he's only 300-ish HP. And, let's see. I don't want to... You see how the reticule is moving all over the place? It's literally because of the arc. But, okay, fine. I'll just do this and... boom. 7 kills. 7,500 damage. With 1 minute left on the game. And look at the 1 mark on this fucking chode gun. That's ridiculous. So that was pretty good. Yeah. On to the next replay. If you look at the team list, you may have noticed it looks strikingly similar to matchmaking from like 2013, where it's 2 tier 10s, couple of tier 9s, or literally 3 tier 9s, and the rest are tier 8s. This is what they took from us, guys. When you played World of Tanks in 2013, this is what most of your matches looked like. When you played a tier 10, most of the time you're fighting tier 8s. Most. It's actually extremely rare there's a game without a tier 8 in it. And slowly over time, they've eroded the matchmaker. They've eroded how easy it is to get tanks. Or they eroded the tank progression. And they slowly took that away from us. And now every game is just the same tier over and over again. You get into a tier 8 game, you're fighting tier 8s only. You get into a tier 10 game, you're fighting tier 10s only. This is what they took from us. This was our birthright. That the people with the small wait a minute. No. I did get striked already. I don't really need to get striked again. But it is indicative of our society as a whole, which is crazy. Anyway, let's not dwell on that too much. We're fighting tier 8s in a Sturmtiger. Let's go blow some heads off, right? Gonna play somewhat aggressively because I can basically one-shot anything that's a tier 8. Well, if it's a heavy running hardening, maybe not, but... Oh, what do you... Yeah. Yeah. That wasn't the wisest choice, E77. And now hopefully someone can finish him off. I mean, holy shit, he's playing like an idiot. And this 703 double-shotted, and he's on quite the long reload, but my reload is still longer. That's the funny thing about this tank, is that whoever's reload you think is long, this is longer. And this 110 is poking. Let's just do that. Gotta be careful. And... yeah, that's pretty lucky, dude. Holy fuck. A tier 8 bouncing 400 heat pen? let's just pretend that one hit. We're doing more make-believe, guys. 3,000 damage. Wow. Nah, but I'm gonna kind of move up. If we have like a lot of people on this side, and okay, maybe this wasn't the smartest choice because there's 2 people here, and I may have done that to the Carnarvon, but now I am going to get shot by the 703. And I know I can't leave, so maybe I can like get him to shoot my side or something. Now I point my gun towards him to make it look like I'm loaded and I'm lining up a shot, but he doesn't buy it. He knows I'm reloading, and so he puts another one into me. Honestly, he might even get the reload before I get my second shot off. But I have now loaded, and boom. Yeah. Somehow I'm the furthest one forward. How did that happen, guys? I'm not too sure. This 4K is aiming at me. Let's see. Can I hold off until I get a reload in? No. Now, the reason I'm showing you this replay is it wasn't really a good replay, but like, first of all, this map is cool. I think you'll agree. It's a pretty cool map. Kind of dynamic. I mean, look at all these angles people can get. But I fired my gun 3 times and did 4.4 thousand damage. Had that shot on the 110 penetrated, I'd be on almost 6,000. 6,000. Yeah, pretty impressive. Let's move on to the next replay, where I actually get somewhat of a decent game. Sturmtiger on airfield. You can see here I have just the regular turbo. I guess not regular turbo. The bounty turbo instead of the improved mobility system, whatever the hell it's called. And I also have improved aiming, as opposed to vents. So, I'm zoomed out, so I can't drive properly, but I get a little nudge from our Sturmtiger friend, thank you. And we're on airfield, and they still have the original well, it's not original, is it? It's the altered version. I guess the new map we have isn't even called airfield anymore, right? It's called something else. Now, what map do you prefer? New airfield or old airfield, as in this is the old one? I don't know. This one's just more familiar to me, so I guess I'll go with this one. However, I see a concept, and I have HE loaded. So, time to wait. Oh! Goodbye! Sweet dreams. Back to the garage, as Quickie Baby would say. Garage. And I actually get sniped there, like, what the hell? I guess part of me was poking that. But yeah, like a 4K might not have one-shotted him. 4K does 1750 damage, right? So it could have low-rolled. However, on this server, when I play the 4K, I also use this piece of equipment right here. This gives me more alpha damage. And so, I am reloaded. I have HE. Now, that guy blind fires that bush. I guess that's not a bad choice. There was also, again, another concept. In fact, it's the platoon mate of the other concept, so he's probably not too happy about his friend getting one-shotted like that. And so I go for a blind shot because the idea is that our Sturm blinded, missed, and so the concept might have thought, hey, he's reloading, I'm gonna poke now. And then maybe I could have gotten him, but I didn't. And so the Genjarm, here he is, he just put 2 shots into someone, missed though. I actually don't know, I wasn't paying attention, but it seems as though I'm not really gonna get much more over here. And yeehaw, partner. Probably gonna switch to heat now because I'm gonna be shooting at heavies. You can see I'm third-personing it, trying to see if I can maybe loop a shot over. No. Let's see. Do I have the gun arc? Not quite. That mound over there is a bit too high, but I think right here I might be able to. And I have a quick look over there, but I think I do actually have a shot. Although I'm not too sure. I decide to move in regardless. I want to close the distance so I can just, like, derp someone around a corner. Looks like I'm trying to blind the T-100. I don't like being spotted and shot in the side. So, what am I trying to do right now? I don't even know. I'm just being a bot, but Yeah, this is an assembly shop tank. I'm gonna be honest, I think that's probably the absolute worst way you could introduce a tank like this. Because basically you've just flooded the matchmaker with 400 pen, 1500 damage tank. You thought the DBV in the matchmaker was bad? You ain't seen nothing, bro. A fucking entire match full of Sturmtigers? It's unplayable. Anyway, it looks like I have an arc to shoot these guys with. And then, of course, the fucking 113 has to die right in front of me. And this 60TP has to push him to have a hull down. So, it doesn't look like I'll be arcing my shots over this ridge anymore. Which kind of annoys me. And here's the thing, this tank's not overpowered because I don't know if you've noticed, we're down 4k HP and I literally cannot do anything about it. This tank is so extreme, like the 4k. Also, you noticed that too? I noticed it. Yeah, for some reason this is doesn't go invisible in the skin. Yep. Lesta, nice one. But this tank is so extreme, like the 4k, that you are extremely inflexible. In fact, this tank is less flexible than the 4K because the 4K has a turret. This doesn't even get the luxury of a turret. But yeah, it's so inflexible that you really have to be in the perfect place at the perfect time to get huge damage game. And I talked about that one video of a Sturmtiger doing 10k. It was on Oyster Bay. You know that part where all the rocks are, the heavy flank, where it's two sides separated by a long distance? If you back up a bit, you're actually like below them. There's like it's sloped back. Kind of like this actually. And basically the Sturmtiger in that video sat back there and looped shots over into people's turrets. For a good chunk of his damage was just that. And then the rest of it I think was just sitting in a bush and shooting people like 200 meters away because they couldn't even see him. And so yeah, to get a 10k damage game in a Sturmtiger, you would need all the stars to be aligned. And I didn't quite get a replay like that in my time of playing. Like, this is gonna take a long time and a lot of games to get a game like that. However, this game is still interesting. It comes down to the wire. And the only reason it does is because I camp like a bitch the entire game. Basically, the gameplay you're watching right now. And that's just kind of what you have to do. I mean, you can go in and shoot someone for 1400 and then take like 3 shots in return because you have poor reverse speed, no camo, or not no camo, no armor. And so what you're able to do in this tank is severely limited. And that makes me wonder, should tanks like this be brought to the NA server? On one hand, the majority of players are shit. They don't know how to make it work. Even something like a Genjarm. A Genjarm 16-shot autoloader with 6,400 clip potential. Yet, I don't really find Genjarms ruining most of my game, to be honest. It's just because I know where they are, I know how to play around them, they're bad at aiming, etc, etc. I don't think Genjarms break the game for me. Now, if you're a shit player who doesn't look at their minimap, a Genjarm would for sure ruin your game. Because you just get ambushed by one and you die. Anyway, this IS-7 has moved up and he's fired. Oh boy. Oh boy, he doesn't even see it coming. Okay, he sees it. Nope, yeah. Yep. He had a lot of HP. With one click of the button, he's now on low HP. And people do get angry at you. This IS-7 is gunning it for me, man. He is not happy about that. He wants to shoot me. Now, fortunately, I have a Sturmtiger friend. And he kind of just plays like an idiot, but as to what I was saying with the Genjarm and this, the point is these tanks are so extreme that I don't think the average player can really be that dominant in them. And so, like, yes, you can add this to the game, but if you add it as an assembly shop, even though the average player can't really perform that well, there's now so many people in the matchmaker playing this, you will encounter players that do know how to make this tank work. So yeah. With just 2 shots, I'm already on 3,200. I don't know what else to say, man. It's like, you really don't do anything the whole game. You click twice, and you get a damage score higher than most people on your team. So, I'm sitting here, hoping that maybe the 60 TP might move up, and then I could shoot him. This IS-7 is staring at the T-100, and this 60 TP as well. We're all so fed up with this T-100 being on our sides. And so, okay, I guess we just gotta wait. There's 6 minutes left on the game. And of course, this map is called You Push, You Lose, and oh... I don't think the 60 had a shot, but the IS-7 definitely had a shot, and he missed. And, what's his health? 591. Yeah, okay, the IS-7 couldn't one-shot him. But, like, you know how awesome it would be if I could just move up and shoot that 60 in the ass? But the problem is, if I move up, the T-100 will see me. So the E-100, or the 60 TP will turn and angle or just leave. And before I even get to him, a Grill 15 will snipe me. So, yeah. What do? You just gotta be patient. That's all it is. This map is called You Push, You Lose for a reason. And so, this 60 TP, he's trying to push. Like, the wreck, have him hull down. Yeah, I guess it could work. I mean, you still have a cupola, and a Grill 15 could hit it. At least in theory. And so, oh my god, a side of a 60. I would love to just YOLO the 60 and take the hit. But then the grill would shoot me in the side. Or even both grills would shoot me. And I would just die. In fact, I would probably just die before I even got my gun bared on him. And he fired, but... Now I'm thinking, okay, is this Grill 15 gonna poke now that the 60 TP is on the reload? I mean, he has low HP, but I have to kill him, because if I kill him, I can progress. And so we wait. And that's just how it is on airfield. And doubly so with this tank. But yeah, Lesta making this an assembly shop tank is... yeah, I'm not a huge fan of that. Like you can see, there was 2 Sturmtigers on this team and there's 2 on the enemy team. Do I really want to play this game with 2 Sturmtigers on every team, every game? Yeah. Anyway, this is a lot of waiting. I'm really stretching this commentary to make this replay interesting. Trust me, it gets interesting at the end. So, I move up. This Grill 15 is not looking, and so I'm thinking, is it actually possible to get a shot on the 60 TP? Because the grill's there, and that grill is no longer sniping back there. He's moved to a position where he can't shoot me. And so, okay, there's the 60 TP. Commit. Okay, he got shot. He's not going to commit, is he? He's playing hull down. He's not a one-shot, so even if I put a big old round into him, he'll just finish me off. And so, okay, fine. This 60 TP on our team is perma-spotted, right? He's staring at the other 60. He fired HE at him. Is this grill gonna poke? Remember, I've not been spotted here. So, you would think this grill would poke me at some point. Yeah, a lot of waiting. I promise the next replays, they'll be less campy than this, but the ending is worth it. This is like Better Call Saul, where the entire show is just mid, but the ending is so fantastic, it uplifts the entire show and makes it worth it. I know this is a hot take. If you disagree with me, you're coping. That show has a lot of just whatever, right? But it all builds up to something so magnificent that you're like, okay, fine, I accept that. That was worth the build-up. And so it makes the show an S-tier show. I love Lalo, man. Holy, is he my spirit animal or what? The way that he's always just smiling and laughing and joking and everybody around him is like, grrr. Isn't that just me? Anyway, the 60 fired. He only has 800 health, so it's not a fantastic shot, but how are we gonna win this, bro? The T-100 is going to our base, and we have 1 minute and 45. Now, I don't have gun depression. So I aim for his... I could only really aim for his driver's hatch. And he puts a shot into me. 4,000 damage. They have a Sturmtiger and a T-100. Both of them are on 79 HP. And there's a minute 30. So I'm looking back there like, okay, man. Ah, shit. The Sturmtiger killed... Wait, no, the T-100 killed our Sturmtiger. How are we going to win this? Like, actually, he's at the other side of the map. Our only hope is to triple cap. If we could triple cap, it's 40 seconds to cap. This replay went from nothing to everything, right in an instant. Now, this T-100 could be anywhere. The IS-7 is going back. That's wise. He's the fastest one among us, and we only need 3 to cap. Okay, 2 get in. 49. Okay, perfect. Perfect. We can cap out, especially with 3 of us in the cap. Oh, shit. 43 seconds, 41. We can still cap. Just none of us can get reset, okay? You can see it's like neck and neck. We're slightly ahead on the cap. And so, the guy pings the middle. IS-7, go to the middle. That's where he is. Now, where's the Sturmtiger? I'm holding this angle here because it's kind of the only angle to realistically hold, right? And so, okay, there he is. Somehow, he spots me. I'm not sure how he managed to see me, but he did. So, stare at him, and... Oh god, we killed each other! 3, 2, 1. Holy fuck. Holy shit. Okay. That was a roller coaster. You could see this whole replay was basically like Better Call Saul, where it was just like, okay, and then holy shit. That was worth the wait. 3 of us get in. We can cap. Orso dies. Oh shit. Wait, we could still cap by 1 second. Sturmtiger comes. He breaks down the shit. We both fire at the same time. Realistically, I fired before him, but I have high ping. Our shells whiz past each other. We destroy each other. Now we cannot cap. With 1 second left, the 60 TP, which is not known for being very accurate, by the way, actually connects the shot. And so, watch this. Let's go 1/16th speed. I want to see this. So he breaks that down. Yeah, look. Holy shit. Holy fuck. Dude. And then this 60 TP, he's like, oh no. What the hell? 3, 2, 1. Holy fuck. Actually gamer. What a gamer. Oh, that was pretty intense. But, yeah. The Sturmtiger. What an interesting and fun tank to play. Let's move on to the next replay. So we're on Evil Map, and they actually have a nighttime variant of this map. Now, to be honest, I don't know if this is a good replay or not, but listen, this map looks so cool, I thought I would show it. I mean, like, how did they even do this? Like, these are real-time lights. You could see it's shining on my vehicle. How did they put so many lights in the game without making it lag? And they're not baked lights, because you can see if you knock over the lamps, they shut off. Impressive. Can someone who's a nerd explain to me how they managed to add so many real-time lights without it lagging the game? So then I can add it to my game? Thank you very much. Okay. But we're on Kaliningrad, which I like. It's a good map. Got plenty of corridors, but if one gets locked down too much, I'm pretty sure I've said this already, but if one gets locked down too much, you could just go to a different route. It's kind of hard to keep track of what I've said and what I haven't said. I'm going insane, but hopefully what I can do is just park around a corner, wait for someone to poke, and blow them up. Ah, a 1-2-1. You have moved up pretty far, and oh, okay, well, it's not even worth shooting now, but I guess I will. Only 890? Ugh. Let's at least try to reload and go in and do more than just 890. So I'm pinging this guy like, let's go. I mean, I will do, you know, I will hit them for most of their HP and then you can finish them off. How does that sound? So let's move in. Hopefully there's something meaty here around this corner. Greyhound is gonna poke. I'm actually gonna sit further back so I don't get proxied so that he pokes all the way. Although it doesn't look like he's actually moved forward. And he's not. He's gonna sit there. He put one shot into that guy. I don't know if he's on the reload or not. Let's see. Does he shoot this Bizante? Alright. Now he's reloading. And, an Oho. Who do I want to shoot? The Oho has more health, so I want to shoot him. There goes all of your HP. Bye-bye. One small problem. That Greyhound will reload before I reload. And my friend just died. However, luckily, he does not capitalize on an— oh my goodness gracious, that was close. And already splashes me for 300. Yikes. However, I survived, and now I kind of want to shoot that guy. He has a lot of health. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go around the long way. So hopefully I can be up on this ledge here, and maybe I can loop a shot over to the FV. But at this point I realize, you know what, I might not actually even make it. By the time I get around and up, he's going to die. So I think what I'll actually do is probably, I don't remember, but probably go up here, because that looks like it's got an angle right there. So I see, is there an angle here? Holy shit, I have an angle here. Aim. Aim. Fuck, I lost it. I can't really loop the shell over because he's hugging the wall. And so the wall would have to be like right in between us for the arc to make the shell go over him. But how about this angle? Will this work? Come on. Oh, here we go. There's some shit in the way. I don't know if you've noticed, but... and he's second now. Come on. Perfect. Looped it on over, and I gotta keep this thing in between me and him, because he can pen me. And, okay, at least he missed. But there you go, 4,000 damage. Can we make it higher than that? We've only fired 3 shots. Imagine a game where you're able to fire like 8. That would be an insane game. I haven't had one just yet, but hopefully the more I play this tank, the more replays I get. I'll get one of those replays where I do a huge amount of damage. I'll make a video if I do, but let's see. I'm gonna go in. I don't know if I even get any more damage this game. Okay, the replay crashed. Note to self, don't do that. Let's see, can I get more damage? Sturv, 1400. Nobody shoot him, please. People are shooting at him. Aim, aim. Good enough. Amazing. That guy was pretty much almost full health. And he's like, time to use my HP for the late game carry. And then he just exploded. Yeah. Will I get any more damage this game? Well, maybe I'll get this guy. I'm still reloading though. And realistically, I don't think I'm going to be able to get him because I think he spotted the artillery because he's gunning it right for him. And, it's not even worth it anymore. And yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the only damage I do this match. But anyway, yeah, what do you think of the Sturmtiger, guys? Is this something that we need on the NA server? Honestly, I think sure, but not as an assembly shop. This needs to be some sort of like rare reward that's hard to obtain, so that only few people get it. I don't know how they could do that though. What exactly there is in place for something like that to happen. But yeah, having just assembly shop of this tank and a bunch of people owning it and queuing up all at the same time the moment it's released, that's just obnoxious, dude. You killed the matchmaker. Anyway, how is it possible to have so many real-time lights that don't lag the game? Is it like they're all baked, but when you get near one, it becomes real-time? But then the baked map would have to, like, cancel or something? I don't know. Okay, nerd talk over. yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, and thanks for watching.